So Sacrosanct Manufacturers Limited, a manufacturer of bottle caps, is registered in Dhanbad, Jharkhand. It imports a bottle caps making machine from Japan. Sacrosanct Manufacturers Limited avails the service of Zumro Logistics, a licensed custom broker in Kolkata, West Bengal, in meeting all the legal formalities for getting the said machine cleared from the customs station. Sacrosanct Manufacturers Limited also authorizes Zumro Logistics to incur on its behalf the expense in relation to clearance of the imported machine from the customs station and bringing the same to its warehouse at Dhanbad. So actually here in the first paragraph what you can understand that Sacrosanct Manufacturers is a person who is engaged in manufacturing and they are importing some goods. So now they appointed one Zumro Logistics as their agent. So what is the agent's work? That customs house agent work or customs brokers work. Their work is in meeting all the legal formalities for getting the said mission cleared from the customs station. But their work is limited to only that. So in meeting the legal formalities and taking it from the customs. But transporting it to the importer's place or payment of customs duties or payment of charges, all these are not their work. Okay. So now this is very important to know whether it is a pure agent or not. Because when supplier will act as a pure agent of the recipient, when it is a liability of the recipient incurred by the supplier. So here supplier's liability incurred by supplier will not come under pure agent. So whether that is a liability of the recipient or not, if we need to know, for that we need to understand this. Now Sacrosanct Manufacturers Limited also authorizes Zumro Logistics to incur on its behalf the expense in relation to clearance of the imported machine from the customs station and bringing the same to its warehouse at Dhanbad. These expenses would be reimbursed by Sacrosanct Manufacturers. So what is happening? So now Zumro Logistics is required to incur the transportation and other charges, so which is reimbursed by the Sacrosanct Manufacturers. So through a contractual agreement, the recipient is authorizing the supplier to incur the expenditure on behalf of the recipient. So now here supplier is Zumro Logistics, recipient is Sacrosanct Manufacturers. Okay. So now these expenses would be reimbursed by Sacrosanct Manufacturers to Zumro Logistics on actual basis. In addition, Sacrosanct Manufacturers will also pay the agency charges to Zumro Logistics for the services rendered by it. Zumro Logistics raised an invoice in July as follows. Agency charges 5 lakhs. So that is the value, transaction value. Customs duty on mission. Customs duty is not the liability of the supplier. It is the liability of the recipient incurred by the supplier. So it will not come under expenses, but it will fall under expenses as a pure agent. Not normal expenses, not incidental or other expenses, but it will be coming under expenses as a pure agent. Then even port charges, dock dues, also the same. These are all coming under expenses which are required to be incurred by the recipient but incurred by the supplier as a pure agent of the recipient. Charges for transport of machine from Kolkata Port, West Bengal to Zumro Logistics Godown in Asanal, West Bengal. So this again, so not the liability of the supplier. So then charges for transportation from Zumro Logistics Asanal Godown to warehouse, that is also expenditure incurred as a pure agent. As per Rule 33, expenditure incurred as a pure agent will be excluded from the value. Okay. So then unloading of machine, who should pay these unloading charges? Again, recipient should pay. But hotel expenses, traveling expenses and telephone expenses, these are the expenses which are required to be incurred by the supplier for the purpose of providing the service and recovered from the recipient. So that is not pure agent. So anyhow the supplier has to incur that expenditure. He incurred it and he recovered from the recipient. So therefore that should be included in the value. 45,000, 50,000 and 2,000. So therefore the value will be 5 lakhs plus 45,000 plus 50,000 plus 2,000, that will be 5,97,000 will be taken as the value. Compute the value of supply. The value of supply will be 5,97,000. Now, what would be your answer if Zimro Logistics charges 13 lakhs as a lump sum consideration for clearing the imported machine from the customs station and bringing the same to the warehouse of Sacrosanct Manufacturers Limited? Suppose if they are not showing this breakup of the expenses, then entire 13 lakhs will be treated as the value. Why? See, in order to deduct those expenses incurred as a pure agent, first those expenses needs to be shown separately to the recipient. So therefore, in this case, when the expenses are not shown separately, it is not reduced. Okay. So entire 13 lakhs will be taken as the value. Understood? So 13 lakhs will be taken as the value. Any doubt in this question here? So what we need to see is the scope of work. So then only you will understand whether that expenditure that supplier has to incur or not. So that scope of work is very important for us to know in the question. So that scope of work, if you can identify in the question, that is the key for answering this pure agent concept. Okay.